Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us tmosso@the1916company.com for all of your purchase and pricing questions. Today, we're discussing a model that launched in 2017 for the 20th anniversary of Patek Philippe's Aquanaut. This is the Patek Philippe Aquanaut 5168G-001, white gold, and 42.2 millimeters in diameter. It features a fashionable fumé blue metallic sunburst dial with a geosphere cut and white gold applique Arabic numerals and indices. This was the arrival of the 42.2 millimeter Aquanaut, bigger and bolder than the 5167. It has all of the same tech specs, just more wrist presence. It is gray gold, which is a type of white gold that is informally known as the good stuff in the watch industry. It's an 18-karat white alloy that never needs to be rhodium plated and is white all the way through. 42.2 millimeters in diameter, it is bigger than a 5167, but it's not necessarily thicker. At 8.5 millimeters thick, 50 millimeters from lug to lug tip, it has a broad 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. And you can see on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, it wears well. It is big though. I'm going to say you probably need a wrist that is at bare minimum flat across the top and 15 centimeters in circumference. Really, you could see on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, it is very flat. It'll fit underneath the cuff, but you could see that it is a large watch and it takes up a lot of real estate. Still, when you look at the over-the-top shot, you can see that the lugs are inboard of the edge of my wrist. If you've got a wrist a little bit smaller than 16, you can still wear this watch. Taking a look at the strap, it's been a feature of the Aquanaut since the very beginning. 1997, they've called it a composite strap this whole time. I still call it rubber. Regardless, it's durable, comfortable, and in character with the watch. It's a more stripped-down, youthful aesthetic than Gerald Genta's Nautilus. Now, the geosphere cut of the dial continues into the strap, which is matte black and fully integrated with the case. You can see in profile it does thin out a little bit on its reverse side with some hollows to make it more flexible. It is a pretty supple strap though. It is not particularly tough. It's very comfortable, somewhere between a conventional vulcanized rubber and the gumminess of silicone, so very supple. A lot of little striations and pre-scored marks to make it easier to cut the strap to length, so you have quite a bit of flexibility. We will make sure this is sized for you before it ships out. Now we've got a double folding clasp with twin trigger release. So once closed, you do need to push both triggers at the same time to open it. One will not do. So you have a large amount of security. Taking a look externally, you can see the Calatrava cross, the symbol of the brand. You'll find it on the buckle, you will find it on the crown, and you will find it on the rotor. The case is relatively simple in construction compared to an Aquanaut, but there's still some choice elements, including a very subtle bevel of the edge of the lug, satination to contrast with polish, the rounded polygonal form of the bezel, referencing its older sister, the Nautilus, and then satination on the top versus polishing on the side. We do have a screw-down crown, 120 meters of water resistance. Again, white gold indices, hands, and numerals on the dial. It is a robustly luminescent watch designed to be seen in the dark. It has a white varnished seconds hand for high contrast, and you can see that geosphere cut along with a fumé that fades in smoked fashion from light at the center to dark at the edge. There's also a brushed metallic texture present. The watch features a quick set date, though not hacking seconds. A little bit of back pressure, though, once you've pulled the crown, can allow you to stall out the seconds hand and in that fashion synchronize it to a reference time. On the back, you can see screw and case back, caliber 324, unidirectional automatic winding with hybrid ceramic rotor bearing for efficiency. It has a 4 Hz beat rate. It has a 45-hour power reserve, adjusted in 6 positions, one more than a standard chronometer. All of this pivots on 29 joules, and it is robustly anti-magnetic thanks to Patek Philippe's Spiromax silicone hairspring. You can also see it features a Gyromax style free-sprung balance for precise adjustment in those 6 positions, but also for greater shock tolerance. It is a beautifully decorated movement, and while it now features Patek Philippe seal rather than the historic Poisson de Genève. The finishing is equal to or better than what Patek featured back in the Geneva Hallmark days. And the only feature it really doesn't have is the hacking seconds. It's guaranteed accurate from the factory, no worse than -3 + 2 seconds per 24 hours. We have circular as well as linear stripes across rotor and bridges, engine turning in several different sizes, mirrored bevels that are almost certainly started by mechanical means but finished by hand, black polished screw heads with chamfered slots and circumference, and where visible, pegs used to locate bridges on the base plate below have been polished on their tops. There's also satination on the wheels, and then you can see that there is a coarse snailing on the outer edge of the winding rotor. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.